Okay, so I'm going to start with this project. And I want to have it where I can have some wire and a bird hanging between two letters. Okay, so I've got my text here. And because I'm going to end up wanting to kind of draw some wire between the letters, I want to make sure that I've got some letters that are easy to work with. So I may also want to go up under Window and Type and Character. Okay, then that will allow me to move this over to the side so I can see the letters a little bit easier. Okay, and if that's taking a little bit too long to enlarge, I can do something like that. Okay, I may want to go ahead and change the color of the text. Okay, and here's the key point is after we get this, then we want to change the type and we're going to create an outline. So we can go to Type, Create Outline. And now that you can see what happens is then it creates every single letter is now its own image. So I can use the Direct Selection tool and edit each one individually. Okay, now I want to insert my bird. So I'm going to go to File and Place. Now I went ahead, and this is always a good practice, I went ahead and found 2 or 3 different designs. Okay, so I'm not quite sure which design will end up working. So I think it's always, and you can even move these out to the side. So I feel that it's always much easier if you go ahead, if you're looking for one bird, go ahead and do 2 or 3. Then that way when you get to actually using the software, then one of them should work. So for example, even though I thought that this one was transparent, it is not. Okay, so now I've got my one symbol here. Okay, I can resize it, I can color it, and then I need to go ahead and add some wire for my bird to rest on. Okay, I've got my pencil tool selected. Okay, so again, so how thick I want my line to be is going to depend on the stroke. Okay, and then I can also decide later if I want to have the wire go in front or behind of the lettering. So here is the bird. Okay, so remember, so I imported this, and then I should still be able to recolor the image. Actually, I'm playing around and looking for a way to make this even a little bit more unique. Just playing around, I went to Effect, okay, and Stylize, which we've already worked with. So I could do a drop shadow, I could do an outer glow. Again, you might want to have the preview on and just kind of see what that looks like. And again, so you can try it on, you can try it off with the colorings. Another great thing that you can do is if you've got an artboard here, and you can go and duplicate your artboard and then make a couple different changes and see how that looks. Or you can highlight not everything here. Okay, and I could even make a couple of copies of that. And then sometimes if you could then have them arranged together, And then that might be an easier way to see if that's something that you like or you don't like. And over here you can see where I actually applied that indicates the artwork, and I could always kind of mute that and change it and delete it. So the other thing that we can do other than doing type and outline is we can go and select our text, and we can go to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Warp, and then we have some different options here that we can do. Okay, so again, before you kind of start playing with all of this, go ahead and have in your mind maybe exactly kind of how you want this to look, maybe as a banner or something else, so you can adjust how much of the blend that you want. And again, that you can also look to see if you want to do that as over here on the arc. And this maybe kind of makes me think of even like a megaphone, something like that. Okay, so I think I figured out my design. I think I want to go with something where I can then put this like a magnifying glass to look towards your future. Okay, so I've got my design, and I can go to Object, Envelope Distort, Make with Warp, and I'm going to do Inflate. So before I convert it to the outlines, I need to make sure that I'm getting my shape and the spacings kind of exactly where I need them to be. So again, I want to make sure that I can try to find something that does not have a watermark. So I can right click, Save Image As. Okay, now that's coming up as a JPEG, so I want to make sure that I can try to find one that is a PNG, and that way I can make sure that it will be a transparent background. Now, as I can see there, that looks like that would be so even though I only need one magnifying glass, since I'm over here and I'm searching, I went ahead and saved 3 of them, knowing that one of those 3 should work. So now I can do File, Place. Okay, and again, we're going to make sure that we don't have link on there. So I actually did not like the magnifying glass there, so I very creatively am just going to make my own. So I have my circle. Now I can go back and practice some of our new items. Effect, Stylize, and I can do a inner glow. Again, I probably want to do a preview, so that way I can kind of maybe see what it's going to look like. I can work with the opacity. So it's getting late. I'm getting tired. So I may finish this a little bit later. So finally, as I'm looking at the, stem of the magnifying glass, there's a couple things that jump out at me. One is if I wanted to make this wooden, I could probably go in and do a fill of a pattern, so it's a wood effect. Or if we see over here, that makes me think of the blend tool that we worked with recently, that we can go through and make a little bit of a blend with the 2 colors, so it looks like it has a little bit more dimension.